Christopher Bosso, Associate Dean of the School of Public Policy and Urban Affairs and co-teacher for this semester. My colleague, Barry Bluestone, is, as some of you know, off in the great Midwest taking his son to college. So we're not sure who's more nervous about this, the son or the father, although I have my money down. Very sensitive. That's because this is obviously one he would have liked to have been here for when it comes to the fiscal picture facing Massachusetts. Fiscal picture facing Massachusetts, boy, I can say that. It's something that he cares deeply about in terms of his own work. We have three excellent speakers tonight. This is a real powerhouse lineup, and I'm very pleased to introduce them tonight. And in fact, when you think about fiscal situation in Massachusetts, we think about Massachusetts as a place. I can't think of three better people to really comment about where the state is in terms of the overall national fiscal picture, the state's own fiscal picture, and the context within which governors are running for election. As I was talking earlier with my students in the class, our discussion group, when you're running for election, you like to think you are in charge of the agenda. Sometimes the agenda is in charge of you. And I think of no better example of this than the fiscal situation facing governors today. It is a very bad year to be running for re-election if you're a governor, except for maybe North Dakota. If you have oil, you're okay. If you don't have oil, you're good luck. And certainly, I think if you're the incumbent governor of Massachusetts, you're running in a context where, for better or worse, you're to a great degree, you're stuck with a hand that's dealt you by forces more or less out of your control. But we're going to talk about that today. And certainly, if you are a challenger, you're going to hang the entire economy around the incumbent's neck and run with it. And that's called politics. Life is fair, and love and war in politics. But I'll leave that to our guests tonight to talk about. We have three excellent speakers tonight. Alan Clayton Matthews, Associate Professor of Public Policy and Economics here at Northeastern University. Alan, a colleague of ours, is an expert in labor markets, regional economic development, and public sector finance. He has an especially rich record of service to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and roles as diverse as a member of the Technical Advisory Board of the Department of Revenue a few years ago, to current role as a member of the current Governor's Council of Economic Advisors. Came to Northeastern in 2009 after a long career at UMass Boston, and previously as a senior research associate at the Social Welfare Research Institute at Boston College, and as an economist with the Office of Tax Policy at the Massachusetts Department of Revenue. He studied economics at MIT and earned his PhD in economics at Boston College. Michael Wigmer, been president of the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation since 1992. Joined the foundation in 1990 after 20 years of management and political experience in the public and private sectors in Massachusetts. Held a variety of senior level positions at Cabot Corporation, first as Director of Public Affairs and later as Vice President for Human Resources. During the 1970s, he served with the Sargent administration as Special Assistant to the Secretary of Human Services, and as in the first Dukakis administrations. Most people don't remember, I suspect, that you actually served in the Sargent and Dukakis administrations as the Governor's Director of Communications and Deputy Chief Secretary. And earlier in his career, worked as a reporter for United Press International. There's a bit of training. Learn how to write copy. He's a graduate of Princeton, and then more appropriately for a Massachusetts audience, a graduate PhD in government from Harvard University. I noticed, though, on your website it says political science. It's government. Yeah, that was at Harvard, it's government. Leslie Kerwin is Dean for Administration and Finance for Faculty of Arts and Sciences at Harvard University since last November. Previously, she served as Secretary of Administration and Finance for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for 2007-2009, in which role she was responsible for executing key finance and administrative duties, including preparation of governor's budget recommendations, developing the capital budget for the state, monitoring and managing budgetary activities, and generally just keeping an eye on the entire state fiscal activities. She also oversaw the activities of more than 2,500 state employees in agencies and divisions ranging from Department of Revenue to the divisions of Human Resources and Information Technology. So Harvard is a step up, obviously, in terms of complexity and famously individualistic faculty. Before that, she spent 7 years as Director of Administration and Finance at the Massachusetts Transportation at Massport Authority, and then previously Undersecretary Chief of Staff in the Executive Office of Administration and Finance, where she served as second in command of the Cabinet Secretariat. And previously, before that, she held several positions of increasing responsibility in the Massachusetts Department of Revenue, including that of Deputy Commissioner from 1991 to 1995. She earned her bachelor's from Harvard University and Master of Public Policy from the Kennedy School there later on. So a tremendous lineup of speakers, of tremendous knowledge, both inside and outside government. And to start things off, our own Ellen Clayton Matthews.